Hey everybody! The studio is coming along so nicely. It's not completely done yet, but I couldn't wait to do a sneak peek. I don't know if I'll dig too deep into the things that I wanted to show you because it's a dark day. It's a really dark, rainy day, so the light is not that great in the studio. But at some point, I'm going to give you a tour of what's in my new 7-drawer units and how I reorganized things. And it'll be a continuing project for a little while anyways, but it's so exciting. It's so exciting to have it finally come together as a studio that will work for mixed mediums and silk painting at the same time. I can easily switch the studio around now if I'm painting silk scarves or doing paintings on silk, or if I'm doing oil paintings or acrylic paintings over here, or mixed media and watercolors over on the table. It just fits a lot better and everything feels like it makes a lot more sense. So come on, I'll give you a sneak peek. Okay, before I give the studio tour, I got to give a shout out to my talented husband, Don. He's done so much work for me in this studio renovation, and I'm so grateful. What a guy. Thanks, Don. So if you watched part 1, you'll remember how messy this whole office area was. Everything was really disorganized and messy, and that was one of my goals, was to sort of neaten that whole office area up so that it made more sense. And there was also no separation between the office and the studio. So the office can be a really stressful place, and the studio, is supposed to be a place of relaxing and painting, but there was never any separation between the rooms. Now we've sort of turned one of my work tables this way and folded the piece that folds down, so it feels like that's sort of a separate space over there. And now we have, like, the filing cabinet is more into the office area, and this just sort of feels like its own space down in here, which really, really pleases me. I like that a lot. So let's see, I didn't touch anything on the walls. We didn't get that far, so I didn't take any of that down. All the junk that was piled up here has been cleared off. Just has my camera and some things that need to be filed in the cabinet. I didn't move my open goldens. If you saw in the last video, my open golden paints are there. Our little still life swizzle set up here. I found a nice little basket to store my littles in so that people can flip through them when the world's back to normal and people can come to your studio, right? Silk steamer has some temporary still life decorations on it. Obviously, they have to come off when I steam silk scarves or like silk paintings like that. So this area is, and the dog bed. That's like one of the most important things, right? You have to have, what is a studio if it doesn't have a dog bed in it? But, so that's that side. Much, much more organized than it was before. It's just a lot of things shoved up against that wall. I have my Watercolor Live hat and badge, and my Realism Live hat and badge, and my Watercolor Live and Realism Live patches. And Plein Air Live 2 starts in April, so if you've never been to a plein air convention, sign up for the virtual Plein Air Live convention 2021. This area did get some organizing. Everything came off the top and things got reorganized there. Some of the shelves got changed around, not a whole lot. It's still where I store my paper and my paintings. And this is the part that I'm the most excited about, is these drawers. Oh my gosh, so much storage. And Don got me a birch door to put over the top of them. And then he got me, he had a piece of Formica that we put over that to protect it. I got my tea getting cold over there. And just so much fun setting this up. I've got my little nature altar with little things from the woods. And there's the woods. Washed the windows. There was a big mud thing on the window where the birds they're building nests up above. And they were always dripping mud down on the screen, so we cleaned that all up. You can see outside better. That's the deck down there. It's an amazing workspace. I'm not going to do it right now. At some point I'll add what's in the drawers, because it amazes me of how much stuff fit in these drawers and how much I was able to organize. This part over here, under these cabinets, was an absolute disaster. I just tried reorganizing it a number of times and it just wasn't coming together easily. But this time, it's very, very organized. Makes a lot of sense. Got my little canvases and little panels in there. And some more silk painting things over there. Cleaning stuff. Dog shampoo. This is some acrylics. There's a jelly plate in there that I made a few years ago. And some printmaking supplies. My still life supplies are now neatly down there. This area is glues and Goo Gone and things like that. This bin is things like Reynolds wrap, tinfoil cling wrap, bubble wrap, elastic bands, contact paper, Ziploc bags, all that kind of stuff. And these are the bookshelves that I organized better. My sketchbooks, art journals. These ones are all finished here. And these are some watercolor ones that aren't finished. I guess these are mixed media, watercolor, a mixture. So from there over to here is not finished. These all got finished during my 2021 challenge to myself to fill all the sketchbooks that I had half done. So all of those are done. And then there's some down here that are too tall to fit up there. So this is done. This is done. This one is done. And this one and this one are not done. And this is a watercolor one that's not done. So I have finished up a lot of my art journals during this challenge to myself, which thrills me. And it thrills me to have everything so much more organized and easy to get to. I even have another bin over here that I haven't even filled yet, so there's room to spare. Room to spare. These are some of my brushes that I don't use as often. Oh, my golden mediums, fixatives, all the silk painting dies. I took the ones that were out of the corner that I showed in the last video, the before video, and they are stored down underneath now. My oil waste can sits there now, so I can put my oily rags in there when I'm oil painting. My gloves and things that I use for oil painting are in there, and I have my oil paints in here in these 3 drawers. My 2 palettes my Stay Wet palette with a sponge that I use with acrylics and flat paints. And then this is the oil painting palette. So I'm so pleased with it. Don still hasn't finished trimming the windows, and that may actually take a while. He's slowly working on it, but he's got both of his COVID vaccinations now, and many of his customers are vaccinated, so he is heading back to work, which means I don't have full access to him anymore. So things may slow down. But that's all right. The organization was really what I needed. The pretty stuff is great, but, you know, the taping and painting, that'll come. Right now, I just needed a studio that functioned better for me. Oh, I did show in the last video that the silk painting racks, if you remember, were taking up that whole space over there, and we moved them. We sort of loosened everything, all the bolts and nuts and bolts in them, and folded them up as much as they will fold up. And they compacted down so that we can fit them in there. There's only one. These are the ones that Dawn made for me. There's only one that doesn't fold that way, and it's a Susan Louise Moyer silk painting rack, and I absolutely love it. But it's a beast, and it doesn't fold down. And to take it fully apart is a nightmare, because each one of these holes you have to go through and thread a hook onto the elastic in between. And it's a ton of work to do that. So I don't take this one apart for storage. I'm just going to have to let it live there. I don't know what we're going to do with it when I put the air conditioner in that window this summer, but for now, it's a for now, as my husband likes to call it. People often ask what I have my silk steamer on, and it's an old commercial garland. It's a 2-burner garland, and we bought it off of eBay. Oh my gosh, maybe like 25 years ago, maybe even longer. And it's a workhorse. It works beautifully. It did have an electrical issue when we got it, but my husband was able to fix it. And it's just the perfect unit to put one of these stovetop steamers on. So, and I think we paid like $65 for it on eBay. I have looked since then because someone wanted me to try to help them find one, and they were crazy expensive if you bought them new. So you need to try to find an old one from a restaurant that's closing. All of that stayed as it was. At some point, I'm going to pull those down and organize them. They're all for sale if anybody's interested. There's a couple of plein air paintings, some watercolors, some oils, acrylic oils. That's acrylic. That's oils, 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 oils. That's oils. Yeah, so I guess there's only 1, 2, 3 or 4 watercolors. That's an acrylic, and an acrylic. The rest are oils. All for sale. I think there's actually only one up there that I don't think I would sell. So what do you think? If you watched the first video, this is like such an amazing transformation. It probably looks a little bigger than it is in actuality, because I have the camera zoomed out into like a wide angle shot. So it makes the room look a little bigger than it actually is, but it's just so well organized right now. I suppose you could take bets in the comments on how long you think I'll keep it this organized. These ones, these are all silk paintings. Oh no, actually, these are watercolors. Those are all for sale. These are silk paintings. These are some really old silk paintings that I did when I first taught myself how to paint on silk. And then this hallway is probably too dark to show, but there's a lot of silk paintings in here. Let's see if I can turn any light onto them. That's Waits River in Vermont. That's up in central Vermont, somewhere, the church and a cornfield. This is in Brattleboro. This was Maple Leaf Music. It's not probably not showing very well in this really bad light. The light isn't going on for some reason. That's in Bradford, Vermont. Then there's some snow scenes on the stairs. All for sale, if anybody's interested. Okay, so that's the first sneak peek. I guess it's not a sneak peek. I guess I just did the whole thing, didn't I? But I'm just so happy with it. I couldn't wait to show it. And as we progress further, I'll show you more. And then, yeah, I'll either add it to this video, or if this video is getting long, I'll do it in a separate video. Maybe I'll do it in a separate video. I'm going to show you what's in each of the drawers, how I organized the drawers, because that's kind of fun. I always love it. Love to see how other artists have their things organized. I mean, if you watched the other video, I had one of those plastic tables there with junk just shoved over it, under it, no storage. This is a huge improvement. And when I do go switch things around to paint my silk scarves, I can flip that end of the table up. It has a leg that stands down, so I can paint silk scarves there. I can paint silk scarves over there, and I can have my scarf racks out to dry in different areas. Very, very, very convenient. I'm a happy girl. Put my back out, reorganizing everything, but I'm still a happy girl. And I get my first COVID shot tomorrow, so feels like things are going to be opening up and moving, and be able to sell some art, get some art out there into galleries. Feels good. Feels like things are moving along this year. Okay, I know I keep spinning in circles and showing you guys the same thing, but I'm just so happy with it. I can't stop. These are my colored pencils, some markers, gel pens, walnut, this homemade walnut ink. I love this box. Sunbeam brand. I'm going to do some oil abstracts. My tea that definitely is cold now. My crow mug. Love, love, love that mug. This is great. This was an old tool thing that was in my dad's shop when I was a little girl. And my dad used it, and then my stepdad used it, and then I inherited it. So that's precious to me. Okay. Cold tea. But it was worth it to show you guys around my studio. I kept telling my husband that I was going to wait until I had finished. You know, we had gotten all the window trim done, and I had gotten some flooring down, and he was always saying, you're not gonna not put up a video of the progress so far until you get everything done. So he was right. Don't you hate that when they're right? Anyways. It's so wonderful to have a space it's so wonderful to have a space, period. I feel so blessed to have a space because I know so many people don't. I know so many people work in their dining rooms, and I don't take it for granted at all. I feel so blessed and lucky that I do have a really gorgeous space to work in. But it's sometimes when the space just isn't, when you're a mixed media artist or you're an artist that works in more than one media. Like the silk painting is what I did professionally. The silk painting is what I make my living off of. And so the other stuff, I always felt like I couldn't dedicate too much of my studio to it. I couldn't leave it set up. I was always putting things away and then keeping the silk stuff out. But now I think I've found a happy medium where I can keep everything really super accessible and be able to swap the studio back and forth between a silk painting studio to whatever other medium I want to work in. Because I'm finding the older I get, I'm almost 60 now, the more I'm loving working in my art journals and don't care as much about making the money. Although, you got to make some money. You got to pay for your art supply habit, right? But it just doesn't feel, even though it's something that needs to be done, I need to do the work and sell things, it doesn't feel as important as making art that fills me up, that speaks to my soul. So the art journaling is just really doing that for me lately. The mixed media, even the oil painting when I'm feeling well enough. The oil painting, doing serious paintings is hard for me when I'm not feeling well, when the chronic fatigue is really heavy. I just don't feel like I have the brain waves to focus on doing any serious painting. And the art journals are such a blessing for anybody out there who struggles with chronic pain or chronic illness. It's just such a blessing to work in art journals and to not care about the results, to be totally free to do expressive work, intuitive work. So that's what I'm focusing on right now for this minute, because who knows, things change. The minute I get feeling better, I'll probably go back to oil painting and do some plein air painting. I'm really looking forward to that as the weather gets warmed up. I mean, here in southern Vermont, it was 54 degrees today, which is, wow, it just seems so early to be that warm, but we are at the end of March, so it's going to be warming up. It'll be nice to get outside, spend some time outside. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for being excited for me with this studio tour. Studio renovation, reorganization, I guess I should call it, because we haven't completely finished I don't even know if you'd call it a renovation, because it just never has been finished, but we'll get there. We'll get the other things done, and I'm excited to make some videos for you in my newly reorganized studio. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sharing in my joy and being happy with me. And I wish wonderful working spaces for all of you. I would wish that you could all find your perfect niche somehow that you could work in. And you know what? In the end, it doesn't really matter, because as long as we're creating, we can do that just fine without the perfect space. So good luck on your creative journey, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now. Thank you. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's important to me, and algorithms, I don't really understand the whole thing. But if you want to see more videos, subscribe. And if you want to be notified of subscriptions, hit the little bell and it'll notify you for more videos. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.